Let's talk with Trey, discussing life day by day. Together we can pave the way. The next show is underway. Let's talk with Trey, discussing life day by day. Together we can pave the way. The next show is underway.
Hey, welcome to Let's Talk with Trey Bryan for yet another episode on the effects of social media on our people in their lives. So as you can see, I have a guest host here again who was here for the last time on the topic of love. She is awesome. She speaks very well. You guys going to learn something as well. And this is what this is all about, that we learn from one another. Forgot to mention this on the last episode, but this podcast is really about us learning from one another so that we can get through this thing called life. Yes, a quote from Prince a little bit. But that's what this is about, so that we can get through our lives. I'm looking to my peripheral vision because I see one of my kids running up and down the stairs. But this is what this is all about, right? So, without ado, let's jump into it. You guys already met Brittany from before, and if you haven't, I urge you to look at the last one on love, part 2, and like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you can get more of the stuff that we have going on here. We're just getting started, folks, and it is going to be great. It's already good. Mm-hmm. It is going to be great on this Let's Talk with Trey Bryan, so we can continue to persevere with good things to help out this community, ourselves, our family, and the universe. With that, let's jump right into it. So the effects on social media, I think it's very important to be aware of and understand it as well. So I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
And I'm kind of going to let you just take it from there and give your perspective on this topic. So let's jump. How does social media affect lives? Young people? Older people? Maybe I can jump a little bit on that one.
Yeah, you might know a little bit more on that one.
Yeah. Work and relationships of all kinds. What do I mean by that? Work relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, kids, all of that. How does that play a factor in our day-to-day lives?
Man, I feel like this is such an important topic to hit because it's so relevant in our lives right now. Social media has completely taken over how we live our lives, and none of us really have training on how to do it, how to use it effectively, how to pull back from it when we shouldn't be using it, and how to use it to build relationships rather than tear them apart. So as a millennial, I feel like I'm the perfect person to speak on this because it was during like our young lives where social media became a thing. Now you can speak on it too, obviously, because social media became a part of our lives. Really, how long ago do you think?
Well, I believe social media is for us when we were throwing rocks. Now I'm messages. No, social media started with us with the invention of like IBM and all that came into play with the big machines. Like they had like these huge machines now, right? And then after that, started coming with computers, and then desktop computers. Email started coming in. That's really the social media, I believe, when it started effect. Yes, young folk, the way we communicated wasn't TikTok and and Instagram and Twitter and all that. It was email, and we were excited about that, which was probably around the late 80s, possibly 89, that most of us didn't even know about it yet. But it was definitely in the early 90s.
Okay.
When the emails came. And stuff like Space, what was it called?
MySpace?
MySpace, MySpace and all that. So, around that time, I believe.
That's fair. For me, I guess we did definitely have, when we were like in middle school, it was AIM, like Instant Messenger. That's kind of where it started. But I feel like for me, social media really started to like hype up when I was in high school. Facebook became a thing. In fact, it's funny kind of seeing memories from back then of things that I've written. That's we're not even going to go there.
Right.
You're a different person, you know,
Right.
back then. But I found that, well, I use social media very differently today than I used to because of my nature of business. But I found that the effects on young people with social media, it's actually, in my opinion, hurting us rather than helping us.
Why is that?
Well, because with social media, it becomes more of a comparison, right? So especially from a woman's point of view, you know, this world is so caught up in how you look. How pretty are you? What can you afford to buy? What clothes can you afford? The best makeup products, you know.
Right.
This how you look on social media determines your level of success, your level of desirability, and you know, people take social media. People take social media now as truth versus as just a place to express yourself.
Right.
So I find a lot of younger people so caught up in not. I find a lot of younger people are so caught up in what everyone else is doing that they forget to focus on themselves,
Right.
and they stop thinking about the things that they should be doing, you know, to create the life that they want, because they're so focused on what the next person is doing to create the life that they want. And oftentimes we get confused and think that we should be doing life in a certain way because everybody else is doing it, but we're not. And the tricky thing about social media is who puts bad stuff on social media, right?
Right.
I know I don't. If you look at my Facebook page, you might think like I just love my life every single day, which
Right.
I do, but we all have down moments.
Right.
But we don't post the down moments.
Right.
And so sometimes we got to remind people of that. Like, hey, I know my life looks perfect, but it's not. And don't ever feel like down about yourself because you're looking at someone else's life and thinking that your life should be like that.
Right.
And I feel like we get caught up in that a lot.
I agree with you. I think the other part, I was thinking as you were asking the question about when did I think it started and all
Yeah.
that, I totally forgot about American Online, right? AOL, right? Dion in the background just mentioned that.
That's funny. I didn't
So-
even know it stood for that. I just
Yeah,
knew
it's
it as
American
AOL.
Online. Yeah. And it's dial tone. For those who don't know what the dial tone is, I'm talking to the people younger than the millenniums. Something that was like, "Dee," or whatever. So there's a dial tone. We just sit back and wait. Oh, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is that?
And you
That was our
can't use
being
your
social-
phone. You can't use your home line while you dial up to the internet.
Absolutely. There was a home. Okay. For young folks, there was a thing called a telephone, right? That would hang on the wall, or if we were fancy and had money, you put it on. It was like a little rectangle one that was on the table, right? So if we were trying to use email or look up something that was from American Online, AOL and all that, right? We had to disable the use of using your telephone to plug in that device that will take 10 minutes to come up.
Yeah.
To send something that would probably take another 20 minutes. So that's how we did. But here's what I think is affecting the people in the social media, right? You're 100%. It is doing that. But what's missing is that social nature, that connectiveness of communicating in person. And for these days, even over the phone, to speak, because these days, some of the younger millenniums and some of the, Gen Z?
Wait,
Which
Gen
one
X.
is it?
Wait,
Gen
no,
X is, I'm the old one. Yeah, Gen X.
You're Gen X.
So it's Gen Z, I
yeah.
believe, is after you guys. And then after that, it's something.
I don't even know.
Yeah. So I was talking to some of them folks. I mentioned some people, right? And I was talking to them and they say, I was like, hey, make sure you give me a call because we haven't spoken in a while. And I get a text back. We just spoke yesterday. And I'm like, no, we didn't. And they're like, yes, we did. I shot you a text on this and that. Don't you remember this conversation? I'm like, oh, yes. But we didn't speak. Mm-hmm. So what's replacing that human connection is AI. It's all of this social media and technology and all. And I think that the social nature of us is underdeveloped as a young ones. Like, even though we had to wait that 20 minutes or AOL to come online, we'll probably go and talk to someone in the next room or go
Yeah.
outside or have our friends around. These days, folks are not doing that. The young ones aren't going out to play. They're playing on the video games and they're playing in a room. They're staying in a room for 6 months, So that I believe that's what some of the difference of how social media, even at the beginning stage for us, and how it is now has changed the lives of some of the younger ones because they rely more on that technology and less on that connected human nature.
You're right. 100% right.
Yeah.
And even in the world of business is so like the face-to-face business is slowly starting to phase out.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, 95% of my clients, we text
Yeah.
by their choice. I'm happy to hop on the phone. I like to talk. I don't mind talking. But the nature of our lives today, because we're pulled so thin because of all the different things that are pulling us, partially because of social media, people don't have time for that 5-minute conversation anymore, or they don't care about it. They don't care to make the time.
Right.
So I found like with my business, social media has changed a lot for me since I've became a real estate agent. And it's because and I find this with a lot of people because entrepreneurship is on the rise.
Right.
And Facebook has really become like a business.
Yeah.
It's a business place, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the stuff that I share is business related. You know, I'll throw some family stuff in there every once in a while to keep people, you know, engaged.
Right.
But you use it in a certain way to produce certain results, and everybody is out there to find how does social media help me with my next mission.
Yeah.
And it's not even just business anymore. People have been creating a business of themselves through social media.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. You get paid money to make videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what? People are quitting their jobs and becoming full-time content creators.
Bloggers and all. Yeah. We started this podcast to get the information out, right? So people can learn from one another, and it's not about making money and all. So I didn't even know, and didn't even think in my mind that you can make money from this. So you're right. People are doing that. And again, it's not objective, and we're just getting started pretty much. So we're not making anything but subscribe and sit it out. We love to make some money though.
That can change real quick.
Yeah. So, but that's true. And you made me thought about work as well. Like I do real estate investment. So for those who know, there's a difference in, if those who don't know, there's a difference in real estate agents and real estate investors. So we're actually going to have a podcast, if you don't mind coming back for that, an episode on that to talk about the difference and to talk about real estate investment as a whole. So that's to come in the next month or so. So be on the lookout for that as well, and spread the news about this stuff, because a lot of this is educational, right? So you can speak about your business, which is
real estate.
And the name of it is?
Bonds Real Estate.
Right. So, and I'm going to speak about real estate investment, which is Renew Life Properties, for those who don't know. RenewLifeProperties.com, and look some of those things up. We're starting the training portion as well. So more to that to come. But it's true. We just did, right? We're business.
Yeah.
We're using social media, right, to do that. But about 6 years ago when I was doing a deal, and it was a different, it wasn't one of my new real estate agents, but it was someone, and they were showing me text and everything. And I was like, I'm still trying to get to hello. Like the hello was through a text. And I'm like, we're not even emailing anymore. I'm like, so but what I was used to, because I'm a Gen X, or a younger Gen Xer, anyway, was, hello, can we shake hands and talk for a minute? Let's meet over coffee and let's talk to see if I really want to do. And they were perfectly with, well, what's the problem? Yeah. I'm like, there's no problem. I just want to have a cup of coffee and spend 15 minutes to get to know if we're going to do business. So you're right. That it has changed and it continues to change.
And it even took me a minute to get used to that.
Right.
Because, when I entered into real estate, I'm like, okay, I got to be a professional, and I'm going to have to meet with people and have coffee.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to have coffee.
Right.
And I kept trying to push, when people would give bites and like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. Like, hey, let's get together and have coffee. Yeah. Then they'd ghost me. And I'm like, why does everybody ghost me when I ask to meet up and have coffee? Yeah. And it's because people's communication is changing,
right,
and they don't want to do that.
Right.
And so it's funny because I actually have like a system that I use, right, that I've created. Can we even call it a system? I don't know. It works. If someone is interested in buying a house at all, my main focus is to get them on my social media.
Yeah.
It's a funnel, right?
Yeah.
Because nowadays, to get to know somebody, it's not going to coffee with them and sitting with them for 15 minutes and talking about maybe a few key things about their life. It's going through their social media, seeing what they're doing every day, seeing the things that they post, the things that they say.
Right.
You learn so much more about people from their social media. So if I meet you at a coffee shop and, we're talking about real estate, I'm like, hey, are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? I always ask that. I make sure I ask them, like, oh, yeah, you should add me. Like, let's become friends.
Yeah.
I know that if I get them on my friends list, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to convert them.
Yeah.
They get to know me. And when
that's-
people know you and like you, they want to do business with you.
Exactly. Now, say it works the opposite way as well. Say if you're not as good as you, and they see it on social media, and they see it on Facebook, they see you on Twitter, they see you on TikTok,
It could hurt you.
and they hurt you. It ain't make it will.
Yeah.
And let me go with positive and then the negative part real quick on the business side. I got hired at a I don't know if it's legal to say the name of the place. Probably not. I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but it's corporate, right? So I got hired, six figure deal off Facebook
Off Facebook.
because I was looking to retire from the military. Those are in the military. So and someone that knew me years prior, that was in corporate there on the business side, mentioned my name. So they contact me. I didn't even have a resume, So I heard them put one together. But after speaking to me, and when I came to the location to speak that I thought was just on coffee, there was actually an interview. And I came in for a final interview and got the job, 6-figure job.
Wow.
Off Facebook.
Off of
So it's
Facebook.
positive. What's some of the negative parts? And then we'll wrap it
Yeah.
up, right? Some of the negative parts on Facebook is really what we talked about already on how the business side of you looking for jobs and all. People look you up. I promise you. I was in HR before. We look you up. We look it up. So whether they say it or not, we're looking at Facebook. We're looking at, and now it's TikTok. We're looking at TikTok to see what you're doing.
Yep.
Because you're representing that brand as well, even off. So don't think, oh, I'm just off. I can do what I want to do. Yes, you can.
Yep.
But think about how you want to carry yourself and how that may affect. Didn't
I-
get that raise you wanted? I ain't saying it's social media.
But I'm
Might
not
wanna
saying
look
it's
at
not.
it. Yeah, you might want to look at it. So you didn't get the job you want? Not saying it's social media, but you might want to take a look and see how you represent yourself. And if someone don't accept you as a friend, it may not because they don't want to keep you as a friend. They want to make sure their reputation and all is looking good, right? So don't be offended on some of that. Now, one last thing I want you to talk about.
I want to chime in real quick just
Sure.
in case you're about to wrap it up. So one major con that I found business-wise is think about all the people that you may service, right? There's going to be one person that has a bad experience.
Right.
It's unavoidable. Not everybody will mesh with each other. So back in the day before social media, you have a bad experience or two, you move on, you forget about it, you go on with your life. Nowadays, cancel culture, you make a bad decision, you're getting blasted all over social media.
Right.
You could go viral. Your company could go viral for something that you were hoping never even made its way to the internet.
Right.
And it has destroyed businesses. It's destroyed reputations. It's destroyed relationships.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a big negative side to social media. You have to treat social media like a business. It's a separate business.
Yeah.
And you
For
got to
business
learn it too.
and personal. I was immediately
Yep.
thinking of children and young folks, right? When we were younger, did our stuff get around? Yes. It took some time, but it got around. And sometimes it got real quick. I mean, if we did something, say I was in high school, we did something right. 9 times out of 10, the next day, everybody heard about it. I'm not sure how it went so quick.
I'm interested
But-
to know what carried it along without Facebook.
Well, we
or
had a
social
thing
media.
called a telephone, right?
People use the
So
telephone.
they immediately run in. So that was kind of social media. So, and we'll sit back and go, how did they know all this? And so stuff would happen and it get quick. So don't think that stuff didn't happen or didn't get around quick. It's just getting around faster now, right? But the difference is that if something happened in our community or whatever, you could then possibly move to another community later on, move to another city, move to another state. The difference now with social media is, that travels with you. Yo, you can move. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok is following you. You know what I mean? So it's all over worldwide. So yeah, it's not even just another state. You go to another country if you're big enough and been seen enough, and they're gonna know who you are, and it travels with you. So you're right. Those are kind of the negative effects of social media that can affect, which is really in your control. Really, just so the point of this episode is to make you more aware of what's going on with social media and how it affects you, so that you can see, okay, maybe I want to think twice about something that I do. And or if you're in business, maybe I want to think twice about how I shoot
3 times.
Right.
Because another viewpoint on that is, and honestly, I've been kind of thinking about it myself in a different way, the dangers of operating your business with social media, because there are often people out there that don't wish the best for you. And when they see everything that you're doing and when they see your success, a lot of people want to stop that. And if they don't know, it's harder to tear you down.
Right.
But when you start to see what people are doing, how they're doing it, where they're doing it, those people that don't want to see you succeed, they have an easier target, and it can be scary. So I found I get 2 different types of reactions out of people. I have some people like, oh, hey, Brittany, I see you've been doing your thing. And I'm like, oh, you must be my friend on social media. Because how else would you know?
Right.
But then I have other people that are like, oh, I see you doing your thing. You're selling a lot of houses.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'm kind of scared of you.
Haters.
They're
there.
You're out there, and you're putting yourself out there, and it becomes a very vulnerable place, both good and bad.
Exactly. The other part for younger folks as well, as we've been seeing a lot, and this is the negative part, and I hate to end on this, but it has to be told. Be careful what your children are watching and looking and doing things, because the real bad part is that there are evil people out there. Mm-hmm. There are evil people. So, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get their gratification or the hurt, kill, or whatever.
And evil people come with a disguise.
Right.
They're harder to see than the people that aren't as evil, believe it or not.
Due to social media, it's easy to get it on social media. So we brought this episode up to bring the awareness, not to scare folks and all that, but we need to be aware.
Yes.
And then to show and have people out with different things. So with that, unless you got something else, we're going to wrap this up.
I could talk all day, but I'm not going to. I'll go ahead and let us wrap it up for now.
All right. I tell you what, we will bring her back for different topics as well, because as you can tell, I think she is excited and she can speak very well, way better than me. So, okay. So with that, we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We want to thank you. Continue to like, subscribe, and share this channel to individuals so that we can help each one of us out throughout this thing called life. All right. Thanks again. And thank you again for coming on board here today. And I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Take care. God bless.